Hey everyone, welcome back to the vlog. Today we're gonna get a lot of work done. I'm gonna be pulling the engine, as I said in the other videos. Pulling the engine out. I have to properly assemble the oil pan. I have to put a new gasket and torque everything down. I'm gonna be installing the rear cover, which is right here. I have to press in the new seal, which I have to 3D print a tool to do that, so I'll probably go inside a bit later and I could show you what it's like to 3D print for anybody who's never seen that. And we also have a little guest here today, Louis-Philippe. You guys will probably know him on Instagram as RALLIXLEWIS. He's an awesome photographer. He's always at iCar and DMCC events, shooting some amazing pictures. He did some awesome pictures of me last year, and hopefully I'm sure he's gonna be getting some better ones this year. So yeah, we're gonna be pulling the engine right now. I'll do a time lapse of that. Hopefully, we'll try and time it and see how long it takes. I'm saying probably an hour max, 45 minutes maybe. We'll see if I'm that good. All right, let's do it. Alright, we just got the motor out. It went pretty quick. It took about 45 minutes roughly, like I was thinking. We just put it on the stand so it could be easier to work on, as you can see here. So now, just gotta flip it, pull the pan off. I'm gonna put the gasket and everything. I made a little mistake when I was putting on the pan temporarily. The bolt here requires a Allen head bolt, and I put in a regular 10mm bolt, an M6, and it was going in crooked, and I think I cross-threaded the hole into the cover. I'll see when I take the pan off. It's not the end of the world. Worst case, I'll just throw a Healy coil. I have a kit right here, but hopefully it's fine. So yeah, gonna take a little beer break, and we'll get back to the engine right now. right, so we just flipped the engine over. I pulled the oil pan. That bolt I was talking about before, unfortunately, did cross thread. So I tried just putting in a bolt and it's going in crooked. So I'm going to try passing a tap before putting a helicoil. Unfortunately, out of all the tools that I have, I do not have a tap and die set. So I'm going to go get my father's kit. But yeah, so we're pretty much stalled for right now until I fix that hole. Then we'll be able to put the pan back on and then take care of the rest of the stuff, like installing the rear cover. So I'm gonna head over to my father's and go get his tap and die set, and we'll be able to continue. So I just got back from picking up my father's tap and die set. We will try and tap the hole in the front cover. Hopefully that works, or else, like I said, we'll just put a helicoil. So let's try passing a tap through it. All right, let's see if the bolt will thread in now. Awesome. So that's good news. No helicoil required, so that's done. So I'm gonna have to wait till Monday to go get a proper serrated M6 bolt for the oil pickup, because this is not a bolt that you want to lose. So I'm going to get a serrated, is that under the head there's like little slits in it and that locks it into place. And I'll check if they require it, but I might probably put some like blue thread locker just to make sure it doesn't get loose. Then I'll be able to reinstall the pan with the gasket. I have to go through the instructions of the Siki pan. I'm pretty sure I saw that you're supposed to put a bit of bead sealer. Sorry, it's not tires. Gasket maker. I think it's at all four corners here, or else it can leak. I think it's there. I have to confirm, so I'll check that in the instructions. So I'll probably be putting the pan on like Monday night. I'll do one last thing tonight before calling it. I installed the template. So ICT Billet sells the template for the cast. The cast blocks don't come with this bolt hole threaded for the alternator. Only the like LS1, LS2, LS6, etc. This is for the alternator. So you get this ICT billet plate, you bolt it to the head and to the block, and it's a guide to drill and then tap for the alternator. So that's what we're going to do right now. I'm really going to take my time because I have never drilled and tapped cast iron. Hopefully it goes well, so let's take care of that. Really got to make sure that you drill straight, so hopefully I don't screw this up. A good trick when you want to make sure you go into the proper depth when you're drilling a hole is to put a piece of masking tape like that, if you're in too far or not far enough. So the hole is drilled to the proper depth with a smaller bit. Now I'm going to switch to the proper size bit. I actually bought a Cobalt drill bit. This is just a regular one, and it actually went pretty well. So hopefully the Cobalt should go pretty easily into the hole that's already pre-drilled smaller. Wow, It's the first time I ever used a cobalt drill bit, and that's freaking impressive. It drilled through as if it was like wood or something. It was well worth the $10. Okay, cool. So we just have to tap the hole now. I'll be ready to install the alternator. I'm not gonna install it because I'll do it once it's in the car, but I'll test fit it to make sure everything's okay. And we could call it for the night. All right, let's tap that hole. Well, of course, my GoPro just died as I finished tapping that hole, but everything went well. The bolt thread's in. Honestly, I was really dreading this job because I was like, I figured that cast iron would be super hard to drill, super hard to tap. Ended up being like very, very easy. It took me about 20 minutes. So really happy that went well. I guess the secret is just take your time. Take your time, use the proper tools. Like I said, that cobalt drill bit was amazing. Honestly, I think I'm gonna go buy a kit, because you know, sometimes you're drilling through stainless steel and it is a bitch to drill through. But yeah, all right, I'm gonna call it a night. The video will continue, so let's skip to the next day. So I said I'd give you guys a little look of what it looks like to do 3D printing. So we'll go from the beginning to the end. So first, I use a program. It's a free program. Anybody could use it. It's called Tinkercad. It's web-based, so you just go on whatever, Google Chrome, go on tinkercad.com, and then you could make your drawings. I've done everything. All my 3D prints that I've made have been made with Tinkercad. You can do a lot with that. It's really cool. So this is what it looks like. So this is Tinkercad. You have your shapes here and everything. It's calculated. This is in millimeters. So I took some notes. First of all, just to show you, I printed one earlier today, and unfortunately it's a tad loose on the inside and a tad too big. I tried sanding it, but it didn't want to go in. So I had found my measurements online and they weren't correct, because this is 100. This was like accurate to the 0.1 millimeter. It's good accordingly to my drawing. So I measured the outer diameter of the cover, which is 114.8 millimeters, and the crank is 98 millimeters. So I put those into there. Comes out with a drawing like this. I will export it as a STL, and then I put it into my Creality software, and then I could choose the density, the fill thickness of the object. And I choose the print speed, I could choose the bed temperature, I could choose the temperature of that the filament gets melted in. And then I export that as a G code, put it into the 3D printer. This is what it looks like. So this print is at 15%, so it's pretty decently thick. And we're at 2%. I just started maybe like 5 minutes ago. And it's roughly going to take about 2 hours and 10, 15, 20 minutes to do that print. It is pretty long. A lot of people freak out when I say I do prints that are 10 hours long and 15 hours long, but it's amazing what you can do. I love my 3D printers. I have 2 of them. I'm setting one up right now to print on PETG, and there's so many different types of filaments you could print in. This is regular PLA. PETG requires a higher temperature to melt. So PLA melts at around 200 degrees Celsius. PETG I think is roughly between 230 and 250, maybe 260. You have other filaments. You have like one that's infused with wood. You have filament that's infused with carbon fiber. You have some that are more like flexible, like rubber. That's really cool too. I'd love to do with that too. A lot of times when you start getting into different types of materials, you have to upgrade your printer, and it's the amount of upgrades you could do to a 3D printer are endless. But it's really awesome, and it's not too expensive. This 3D printer is roughly $400 Canadian, and I've done lots of stuff with it. But you really have to maintain them though. It's very important to check your tightnesses. You have to do bed leveling. If you take care of it, you'll get good prints. So I'll show you guys when this is done what it looks like, and we'll install the cover. You gotta love when projects work perfectly. Look at this. Here's the 3D printed sleeve. Here's the rear of the crank. So we're gonna take this. Look how nice and snug that is. Nice and snug. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna install this into the rear cover. Look at that. Perfect fit. Like that. When we install the cover, it'll be perfectly centered around the crank. And then we'll remove the sleeve. And then we could place the rear main seal. Use this, place it on top, and probably take like a flat piece of something, a piece of wood or whatever, and slowly tap on it. And it's going to install the rear main seal perfectly.